Where one Italian plumber is successful, a blue hedgehog will follow his competition. It's like a law of nature. Well, in this very specific situation, which was never really replicated again, it is. While Mario and Sonic have put the differences aside and are now fine to appear on the same box art sometimes, it wasn't always this way. These two gaming giants pushed each other to improve. One particular side did a better job at that than the other. I'll leave it up to you to figure out which side that is. All I'm saying is that a certain blue hedgehog has had some difficult years, but still, among all that trash and roughness, there are some highlights, which is what we're looking at today, a top 5 Sonic games list. Sonic Adventure. It's a good way to start off a list of Sonic games, while also being a good way to piss off some people right away, because it's the bottom of the list instead of the top. While its sequel might have the fanbase split, with half of it thinking it's the best game ever to be made and the other half thinking it's not far from Sonic 06. This game is not much different, though more people seem to think the game isn't that good. While I would agree with the fact that this game has flaws, I don't think it's a bad game. Sadly, the flaws in the game are in the structure and design, not just a couple of bug fixes that would be easily done. No, this game has a pretty wide range of characters, all with their own gameplay styles. Some are fun like Sonic, even though he doesn't always work that well, he's fun to play. Some like Tails are creative in design, he's not as fast as Sonic, but he can fly, which gives him shortcuts and levels, so his whole thing is racing Sonic, speed versus brains. Knuckles can glide and dig, his whole thing is finding the shards of the broken Master Emerald, while trying to stay away from the plot. Now, really, he's irrelevant to the overarching story going on. Gamma is just a bunch of shooting, a very easy and short campaign for sure, but fun nonetheless. Then there's Amy. God damn Amy. She is so slow she can barely walk up a slope, and the whole gameplay mechanic is the fact that she has to run away from a robot. What even is this? It's not fun, again not relevant to the plot, and it generally just annoys me. Of course that leaves us with Big the Cat, by far the most hated character in this game. Strangely, I don't mind it that much. When you've played this game as many times as I have, you get used to the fishing controls. I wouldn't say it becomes fun, but at least it becomes manageable. On your first playthrough though, this guy will be like living through hell. The saving grace for this game though is the fact that you don't have to play as all characters. I mean, you do if you want to unlock the final chapter of the story, which is just the final boss fight as Super Sonic, which is decent, I guess. But if you just want to play as Sonic, there's no need to play as any different characters to finish the Sonic campaign. The same goes for all the other characters. If you for some reason just would like to play this game as a fishing simulator and forget the fact that this is supposed to be a platforming game, go ahead, just spend hours upon hours as Big. You can do that. Doesn't mean you should though. Sonic Rush Adventure. Would you look at that, a 2D Sonic game? No, this is not a mistake, I honestly love this game. Well, I'm usually not a huge fan of the 2D Sonic games, that's mostly because of the gameplay style, and this game changes that a lot. You see, Sonic Rush actually invented the boost system, and Sonic Rush Adventure, its sequel of course, still uses it. This was all quite a while before it was first used in a 3D Sonic game, which is what you would usually think about when discussing the boost style games. This game is fast, but not unfair. You see, the problem with fast platformers and my problem with the original 2D Sonic games is that when you go fast, you'll just end up running into enemies and obstacles. Of course, that still ends up happening in Sonic Rush Adventure, but by including the boost meter, you can instantly pick up speed again, and while you're boosting, you'll destroy any enemy you touch. The game also uses the dual screens on the DS really well, having the level extend to the top screen when you're on the bottom screen and the other way around. You can go from one screen to the other, usually not just by walking, but by things like jumping onto a spring and then landing on the platform on the top screen, or by falling down you'll go back to the bottom screen. All of your heads-up display will follow you when you switch screens, so your lives, your boost meter and your rings will all change. Sometimes this can be kind of jarring, but most of the time it's actually surprisingly seamless. And to be honest, even when you do notice it changing, it's not really any sort of problem. Sonic Adventure 2. Is it fair to place both adventure games on one list? Yeah, it is. Now let's get into the game. This should be interesting. While I love this game, it's not the holy grail of Sonic games like some people seem to think it is. I will admit, anytime I play this game, it's even more fun than the last, but that's mostly because I'm getting used to the bullshit design this game shoves into your face. The Sonic and Shadow levels are decent. I said it, they're not good per se, they're decent. They work and they're fun to play, but they still control a little stiff and awkward. And on top of that, the fact that they don't always even work properly, though it's not as bad as Sonic Adventure 1, it all makes for a pretty mediocre experience. It really shows you something that the number 3 on our best Sonic games list is just mediocre. Don't get me wrong, I don't mean that as a bad thing. If anything, I'm neutral in the Sonic gameplay. It's not bad by any means, it's just not something to write home about either. That being said though, Tails and Eggman, they can just go die in a hole as far as I'm concerned. They're slow, clunky and generally just no fun to play as. And I know everyone beats these guys to death when talking about this game, and I know everyone complains about the fucking laser sound, but it's actually horrible. Anyway, that leaves us with Knuckles and Rouge, which aren't too bad. In multiplayer it's actually the most fun mode to play, but explain to me, how do you take a gameplay style from Sonic Adventure 1 and make it worse? Someone took a look at Sonic Adventure 1 Knuckles and figured let's make his levels a lot bigger, which that's fair. But then someone came along and said, hey, why do you have 3 radars active at all times? That's stupid. And the rest is history. I mean, if you wanted to change the radar system, just give me control over which of the 3 is active. That adds a whole new layer of dynamics into the gameplay, which would have been fun. The way you did it now? Just the first radar until you find that shard, then move on to radar number 2, that's just stupid. Sonic Colors. I'm not going to talk too much about how amazing this game looks, despite its low resolution of course. I mean, the game is called Sonic Colors. Of course it's bright and colourful. But seriously, this game looks great. Anyway, this is the game where Sonic got his shit together, after many, and I mean many games which were interesting. Well, no, most of them were just bad. Sonic Colors came along and was universally accepted to be the first good Sonic game since the Adventure series, taking the gameplay from Unleashed's daytime levels and building on it. The main gameplay innovation is the addition of Wisp Power, something Sonic still uses to this day and something I don't see them getting rid of anytime soon, especially since Sonic Team is developing a habit based on the if it ain't broke, don't fix it mentality, which you would think would result in more good games like this one. The controls on the Wii Remote and Nunchuck are a little iffy, to say the least, but after about 20 minutes or so I personally got used to it and I didn't really have a lot of problems with it ever again. It's worth mentioning that there's also a DS version of this game, which might sound off-putting to a lot of people, since DS ports of games usually don't go over that well, but the DS version of this game is actually still really good. It's not just a port with most content removed like you would think, it's a whole new game with the same storyline, world and character designs. But where the Wii version is based on Sonic Unleashed, the DS version has more of a resemblance to the Sonic Rush games, which is a good thing, of course. Sonic Generations. It doesn't get much better than this, does it? The highlights picked out of 20 years of Sonic games, improved and remastered. They even figured out a way of pleasing both new fans and the old ones by making 2 versions of every level. One for classic Sonic and one for the modern Sonic. I do personally enjoy the modern levels more, but that's just because I have a personal preference for 3D platforming. The levels in this game range from Green Hill Zone, the very first Sonic level ever, to Planet Wisp, a relatively recent installment in the franchise, but it was still remade from the ground up. They could have probably just taken a level from Sonic Colors, polished it up a little and called it a day, but they didn't. They put in a lot of time and effort to make sure every level is more amazing than the last. City Escape, one of the most well-known levels in this series, has been reworked and it works decently well in 2D, but the 3D one is probably actually better than the Sonic Adventure 2 one, the original. Of course, most levels are improvements on the original, like Crisis City. This version is actually playable. I know, it's true madness. The only thing I'm not a huge fan of is the fact that you have to do a couple extra challenge missions after every set of worlds to unlock the boss fight, which is of course required to move on with the game. I mean, I get it, without that the game isn't that long, and even as it is the game goes by rather quickly. And I don't mind doing them that much either. Anything this game throws at me I'll be glad to play, Sonic just controls so damn well. But still, these missions really break up the pace of the game. I'd rather have a game shorter and paced properly than this. But hey, whatever you want to do as an artist, there's always someone in a suit forcing you into shit they don't know anything about. Thanks for watching this countdown. If you've enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a like below this video. And while you're down there, you might as well let me know what your favourite Sonic game is with a comment. And if you want to stay up to date to my newest content, you can always subscribe and hit that bell icon to get notified every time I upload. Until the next time, stay in school people. Bye.